Hello students, and welcome to another video. I'm your teacher, Mr. Flynn, and today we're going to be doing a DNA bead model. Okay, this is going to be a keychain that we're going to make with wire and beads. Now, to break this down, okay, you should have taken the notes by now. You should have gone through and done some of the reading and watched some videos, and now you're building this model. So some of this stuff, if you haven't done that, will sound like I don't know what he's talking about. Well, it's because you haven't done the groundwork for this. Okay, now what we're going to do is build nucleotides, and we're going to string them together with wire. Now, these nucleotides are made out of a phosphate, a sugar, and a base. So the phosphate is a P, and S is for sugar. And now the phosphates and sugars, they are the backbone of our DNA. And DNA forms a double helix. So you actually can kind of see here, here's the ladder pieces here in the middle. Okay, and then we have our sides to our ladder. All right, and it's just a twisted ladder shape. That's what a DNA that's what our DNA model is going to look like. Okay, a nucleotide is these gray sections right here. So we have a phosphate, sugar, and a base. And you'll notice that down here I have arrows, and that our models are going to run in opposite directions. So the ladder can be split down the middle, and it can run in different directions. And we call this 5' to 3', 5' to 3'. So it always runs from 5 to 3, and they run in opposite directions. And so basically, half of the DNA on this side is code, and then this other side matches it running in the opposite direction. Now, to bake this model, okay, to make our nucleotides, you're going to need 14 phosphates, which are going to be black, 14 deoxyribose, which is your sugar, ends in O, such a sugar. That's going to be gray. So our black and gray is going to be our backbone, and then the colors are going to be our bases, and the bases are what change. Now, from your notes, you should remember, A's pair with T's, and C's pair with G's. So reds and oranges always go together. So for example, if I were to build my first pair here, I would do red and orange, but I would not do red and green or red and blue, because red and orange are the ones that pair together. So right here I have A's and T's. All right, and then what I'll do is I'll go down and I'm going to make my model here. I'm just going to make it. And you can do it in different ways. I'm just going to outline it right here. So here's my code for my DNA sequence for my gene, and then now I have to build the backbone. So the black is with the P, the phosphate, like this. I'll just put them together. And you'll notice that the phosphate and sugar are opposite on each side because they're running in different directions. All right. Okay, and then I'm going to grab my gray beads and put them on my sugars. And what we're doing is we're just outlining our sequence. So when we run our wire through it all, it's all laid out for us. And there's a big bin in the back. Just help yourself get some beads. If you want to fast forward it, you can. All right, so now I've got my entire sequence laid out. So I have my nucleotide, it's green, which stands for, I think it was my guanine or cytosine. And then I have my sugar and my phosphate. And so that's one nucleotide right here. And then we have another one right above it, and then another one. And then they run in counter direction going the other way. All right, so now that I got this laid out, we have to work with the start position. What you're going to do is you're going to go get 2 wires. These wires are strung together. And what I did is I put it inside this brown bead, okay, this wood tone bead. You'll find it in the back, and then I ran a key ring through the center of it. That's going to be the end, so I can hang this on my backpack. Okay, so here is my sequence, and I'm just going to literally take. Oh, stop! All right. So what I'm going to do is this is the start down here, and I'm going to have these wires running through the center of it in the middle, so they're equal length. Okay. And you're basically going to run these wires through your beads. Okay. Now let me kind of draw an example of what's going to happen and why there's 2 wires. Okay. All right. So here's the start Oh, I'm going to draw it right here. Actually, let's do a brighter color. So, oh, that's dead too. Don't worry, class, we're going to get this. I'm going to do it this way. Okay, there's my start. And then I've got 2 beads. And then I've got another bead there. And it looks like this. Okay, this is basically the drawing. And we're going to have 2 wires. And I'm going to use 2 different colors for this to simulate this. Let's do red and orange. So you can see those. And those both work. Okay. So one wire is going to be here in the center. And what's going to happen is it's going to run through these beads. Okay, and then the other wire, this orange wire, is going to run through the beads, but it's going to cross in the center. And then it's going to meet back up with the red wire. See how that orange wire crosses there, those bases in the middle? And then it's going to cross here and then go up. Okay, that's our first sequence. And then we add our next set of beads. Well, the red and orange are going to come back together again. Okay, and if there's another base up above that, the orange wires will cross again. And then the red wires will continue to stay straight. So this is basically the idea of what we're doing is we're going to have one wire that's going to be weaving, and then the other wire is just going to stay straight on the outside edge. So what you're going to do is you're going to just weave and keep those straight. So to demonstrate this, I got my wire here, and I'm going to take my first beads. I'm going to leave this here so you can see my drawing. I'm going to take my black and gray, and I'm going to run it through both wires. Okay, so I just wired these 2 beads. Okay, and then I'm going to do the other side. I'm going to have gray and black, like this. Alright, so it should look like this. We're running, that makes it easier to see on the table there. We're running our wire through all of them. And then I'm going to take one of the wires and cross it in the middle. So I'm going to take one wire, twist it up, and you want to make sure it's in the center. The first section's hard, and then once you start to cross them, it gets easier. And if it makes it easier, grab that keychain at the end and pull tight, and then make sure your wires are even. And then you're going to find the one wire. Takes a little finessing. Right, so what I've done is I've separated the wires. You can kind of see here how I have this the wires kind of pulled apart from each other. And I'm going to weave my first 2 beads. So I'm going to get green and blue, feed them on like I have illustrated, and then cross them like that. And then I'm going to pull them all the way down to my model like that. Okay, and then I'm going to take the 2 wires together and then string them up again. So just like that. So I weave them, and then I can do the next section. So let's do the next section. I've got black first, then silver, and then I've got the next 2, silver and black, because they're opposites. All right, so you can see here, I'm now doing this kind of weave. And so the red wire, okay, this one is going to stay on the outside. This one's going to stay on the outside. So I kind of pull them back. It's kind of a little trick that I have here. I pull those ones back. And then I can get this to be visual. I weave again, so I take my red and my orange, take this end here, take that in there, and I cross them and I pull it all the way down like that. Oop. The wire kind of has a mind of its own, like that. Okay, and then you just keep on going all the way up. Okay, I did 2 nucleotides here. There's one, and then there's the other, and then we're gonna have you work all the way through all the beads. Okay, get through your whole list. Once you get to the end, come bring it to me, and I will tie it off for you. Okay, it is easier to put the key ring on at the beginning because now it's kind of locked in here, and it gives you something to hold on to. You want to keep it tight. Hold this end and shake it and pull it back and keep it tight and keep it loose. If you mix the wires where the outside wire starts weaving, your model will start to get kind of wonky looking. And here's an example I made a couple years ago. It's a little bit bigger than the one you're going to make, but it's to help illustrate the point of what it's supposed to look like. We got the backbone, it's gray and black, the phosphate and sugar, and then the bases inside are our different colors. Okay? All right, thanks again for watching. Till next time.